Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. Today is one of the most exciting days of early spring. We're hooking up the planters, we're pulling them out, and what better weather than 65 degrees and sunny. My goal today is to get both of our planters out of the barn. Our high-speed planter, which is kind of our racehorse corn planter, and then our split-row 1790 soybean planter, which is a much slower horse, but also extremely capable at planting high population soybeans. In honor of planting season, let's do something that we haven't done in a while and try to get this video 1,000 likes. Every one of you do your part down below here, hit that like button, and let's get those numbers up. And also a little secret, it's actually noon, not morning. We did a lot of off-camera maintenance work this morning. Wasn't really worth your time to watch. First, we're hooking up my planter, the 1790 soybean planter. Shouldn't be too complicated, although this planter has never been unhooked from the 8285 until this year. For the last 5 or 6 years that we've had it, every winter we stored it hooked up. Hopefully it's not too much trouble to figure out where all the hydraulic and electrical lines go. I have a pretty good idea of where they go. It's just a matter of not making a mess in the process. But first, we gotta move all the 4-wheel drive tractors. Get some sunlight and some room to work. When you get all 3 tractors out, you gotta line them up in a row. It's a crime not to. There's the 4-wheel drive tractor's best friend, the fuel man. It's a mean looking lineup. Those tractors are also very good at blocking all the sunlight here in the barn. So it helps me a ton to have them out of the way to hook up these lines. The 8285R, you guys saw, we serviced that the other day. It is 1,000% ready to plant, barring any unforeseen circumstances. We also took it into our local dealership over the winter to have a midwinter special done on it. Basically, a very fine-tuned inspection by a qualified mechanic. Not that we're not qualified, but the guys at John Deere are a lot better than we are. Chris, you remember how this goes?
Yeah.
Exactly?
Put them all in and go.
We just hook them in, and then whatever one pops out, we switch it around. All right, everyone say a quick prayer or wish us luck or whatever you guys do for no dead batteries, flat tires, or blown hydraulic lines. We need all the luck we can get, don't we, Chris?
That'll be all right.
No, Chris is more confident than I am. First step is we're going to hook up to the 3-point here. I had it lined up the other day, so we should be able to back up, pick it up, no problem, and then we'll worry about this mess. So let's get the first step done. Battery on. I don't know if we'll be able to get this in one try or not. That was surprisingly easy. To figure this out, we're going to consult my broken iPhone screen with the picture I took when we unhooked it with all the hydraulic lines. It does appear that they're color-coded, so that does help a little bit. Sometimes we just got to stumble our way through a project. First thing we need to decide is where we're running the cables. Chris and I decided to go under the 3-point. We can get these off. 1, 2... Kind of haphazardly unhook this. We're probably ready to be done planting.
Yeah.
And then we'll do one of these. Wrestling some snakes. And I think that's what we're going to do. That way we can put a bungee cord across the top of the 3-point. And that'll hold them up fine. And they all should be labeled. All right, Chris, what's the bet that this worked in the first try?
I don't want to be able to carry this off the mountain. You're going to go up a ways, aren't you?
Yeah. That one's in. That's 4 down. The real question is, where does this one go? It looks like it said at one point in time where it went. Now it does not say. Well, the one thing is, nothing has changed on the outside of these lines since we unhooked them, so we can actually make a very good guess on where they go. Last 2 go right here. And we made a mistake. That one goes there. This one goes there. Oh, okay, I see what I did. I hooked up the wrong one there. That one goes there. Then we got this one. And then we got this one. We're figuring it out. The goal is to turn it on and not have to rehook them up. Now I gotta hook up the brains and the power. We'll consult page 2 of my diagram. First, we'll do the 7-pin. This is what powers the lights, all that jazz. That one is the brains. You know it's important when it threads on too. I honestly have no idea what this one does, but it does something important. I think there's a tiny one in here somewhere. That'd be easy to miss. I think that's hooked up. Now what do we have? A few more hydraulic lines?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you'll know when you get the one in the wrong place. This is the one that can make a mess.
Yeah.
This is all your hydraulic return, so if it comes out, you'll have a couple gallons of oil on the ground in no time, which I don't think that's the right spot. Is there one under there I'm not seeing? Oh, I'm over to the left one. Hydraulic drain plug. Okay, give everything a little snug. That's all of them. And lastly, these two go up in the cab. We'll have to go up there and do that ourselves. One's for the airbags and one's for the rear view camera. Okay. I think it slides through this little port. I don't know if we have enough room, so we'll just shut the window on it for now. Nice and weather sealed. Now we just need to fire it up, run the hydraulics, run the vacs, run the fans, and see if all these lines are in the right place and they don't pop out. They don't always sit that great inside of the remotes. We just have to keep an eye on them. If one of them pops out, specifically the drain returns coming back in the hydraulics, we're talking gallons of oil in a matter of seconds. You would be extremely amazed at how much oil runs through these in a little bit of time. How do I know that? Well, we've learned our lesson a time or two. Can you tell that project took a little bit of elbow grease and hand grease? Kind of sweaty. Before we can pull this out and test this, I actually have a seed delivery right this moment. I gotta run over to the other shed, unload the seed. We'll come back, pull this out, run it a little bit, and if it's in good condition, we'll move over to the Exact Emerge planter. Not making any promises. It is nice today though, so I'd like to get this done. Okay, time to get some more seed in here. We've only got about half of our corn. I don't know exactly what we lack, probably 5 or 6 boxes. What we have coming in are some Beck's XtendFlex soybeans. They're going over on that new farm we picked up recently. It's an interesting deal. We don't have 100% control over what's planted. The owner gets to make those decisions, but I'm happy to work with a product like Beck's. I know they're proven in the industry. That, and I'm glad we have XtendFlex and not just straight Xtend, so we know we can spray some Liberty if things get wild. We got those 4 boxes of Beck's beans in. Now back to the main attraction, the planters. It's gonna be a tight squeeze through the barn, but we should be able to get it out. And here goes nothing. We probably had to open up a window to hear our help yell if we hit something. We got a lot of things we don't want to hit. We don't want to hit the auger on the combine. We don't want to hit the wall of the barn. And we don't want to hit our augers. Stops out, relieves all the stress from my hydraulics over the winter. Have them on the back wheels and then on the wings. Okay, now we're gonna run a test of our hydraulics. So that involves unfolding it, turning the fans on, turning the vacs on. Hopefully we don't make a mess. Okay, so we got Chris here spotting for us. We're gonna unfold the planter. Hopefully nothing pops off, and then we can try second stage. We were all expecting something a little bit more exciting than that. None of the hoses popped off, so we didn't make a mess. That planter is at least hooked up right. Now we'll need some more servicing or maintenance to get it to go for the season and put the plates in, but we're gonna focus on the ExactEmerge planter, get it pulled out and make some more room in the barn. It may take a little bit more time. It's much more complicated than that old school hydraulic drive planter. This thing is completely electric driven from the row units to delivery brushes, and it also involves a PTO power generator to run all those systems. Last year, early on in corn planting, we actually ruined part of this generator. The splines went bad. We didn't know that there's a greasing procedure for this. So before we get this hefty thing attached to this PTO shaft, we got to make sure it's greased. We'd hate to have to replace that again this year. For the sake of us not having to work too hard or at too difficult of angles, we are going to put the generator on before we even consider hooking the planter up to the 3-point. It's just heavy and cumbersome. Won't worry about the planter until that's attached. A little bit of a side note while we wait on Chris to get back with some grease for this generator. They told us at our local John Deere dealership to consider ordering parts that we think we'll need during the season, maybe things on the planter or the field cultivators that commonly break down, because they're not sure in season if they're going to have the supply to be able to keep those items in stock. So for all you farmers who watch my videos, you may consider picking up a few extra of those cheap wear parts. Anything that your operation goes through a lot, you may not be able to get your hands on it. I'm fairly comfortable that this isn't just a sales pitch from them to try and get you to buy more things. They're typically looking out for their customers. As I mentioned a few videos ago, there's a lot of things going on in the world right now that are affecting and disturbing supply chains. Better stay on top of it. I would hate for you guys to be in the middle of planting with the rain coming in the next few days, trying to cover a large amount of acres, break down, and not have the parts you need. So get in there and get them ordered. The splines on that generator take a special kind of molybdenum grease. We're gonna see if we have any, and if not, we're going to John Deere. Mother Deere keeps us busy, keeps us poor. We got our special molybdenum grease to put on the splines. It wasn't even that expensive, $4 for this tube. Surprising. We're gonna move the generator here, split it in half, lube up the splines with this, put it back together, put it on the PTO. Jeez, that's heavy. I think the ones we want are these 4. 1, 2, 3. There's just 3. There we go. There's our grease. Rub it around the spines a little bit. I think there's really such thing as too much. Well, we found a shirt. Don't want molybdenum on me. Molybdenum grease. Of course, there is a special grease for everything. Remnants of my caffeine addiction past. Getting close to 9 weeks caffeine free. Not a little crackhead anymore. Back on top. want that falling apart in the field. The fun part, putting the generator on the PTO. Hopefully we can do this without breaking a sweat. Unlikely. The spinning is why we need the bracket. When you hook this generator up to the PTO, you want to make sure that it's perfectly centered and it's not sagging. Like right now, there's no support on it. We haven't tightened this bracket. You can see the generator is kind of sitting like this. We want to make sure it's rotated perfectly. We also need it to be sitting up at the right angle. To do that, we'll slide a 2x4 under here, pop it up a little bit. Then once we get it lined up, we'll tighten these bolts and it should be good to go. All right, we got the generator hooked up in the right spot. Now it's time to hook the 3-point onto the planter. Then we'll hook up the hydraulics.
Now you got him. Bingo.
We put the other one together in record pace, so this is concerning how well that one went. I sent Chris to go look for electrical contact cleaner. Think he'll find some. 2 on the right side. Missing that one. It's a big one. There we go. The main one here. Okay, we got 6 hooked up. Now for the more important ones.
Don't be quitting time for long. I don't wonder what you're doing.
Well, this would almost have to go right here. Here comes the boss to ruin our fun. Clean these off. Dust much? I was really hoping to pull the planter out today. We're getting close to quitting time and the boss has shown up and started putting away all the 4-wheel drive tractors. So this thing's gonna be landlocked in. There's a lot of rain in the forecast, so hopefully sometime soon we can get this out and get it tuned. Well, and obviously we gotta do some cable management. But that's a project for a rainy day. It won't be long and we'll be spending some pretty lengthy days in this rig. Unless I get promoted to exact emerge operator, which is highly unlikely. I think my dad has undiagnosed ADHD. He obsesses over how perfectly the tractors are parked. A lot of green packed in here. I would have really liked to get a tad bit more done, but we'll just roll this into a multiple part spring preparation series. As always, everyone, I really appreciate you tuning in. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more, and comment down below if you have any questions. And Ron, I got your sweatshirt really dirty again. I'm sorry. At least this isn't oil. I've already kind of stained it when we were changing all the oil in our tractors. As for everyone else, have a great night. Peace!